everybody, Paula Spivia at Lakewood 400. Thanks for joining me on this glorious afternoon. I am out here outside looking. I just found this wonderful vendor with all these beautiful doors. I can't wait to find out more about them, so come join me. Let's see what we can find out. Well, who do we have here? Hey, are you?
I'm the doorman.
Doorman. Hey, doorman. Paula Spivia.
Keith Gallons. Nice to meet
you. And I have some friends out there shopping along with us this afternoon, and I am amazed at what you have here. And just hoping you can share a little bit about what you've got and kind of what people also do. I'm always intrigued by doors because doors are not always. They're repurposed for other uses than a door to walk in and out of. So.
Most of my doors are being sourced out of Ohio. My home's in eastern Ohio, so that's where I grew up in the construction business. My father was a contractor. I have a brother who was a contractor. I have another brother who was an architect. So from the time I was young enough to pick up a hammer, I had a hammer in my hand. So I've been around doors and construction most of my life in one form or another.
Okay.
The doors I bring in typically anymore, I'm gearing more to new construction and major rebuild, build outs. So you see a lot of 7.5 and 8 foot style doors in my inventory. A lot of my doors are 1920s and older, so you have stuff here that's 100 to 150 years old.
Do you find that difficult to
that is not an easy item to find. Okay. The new building, new construction now is mainly geared for 8 foot doors. A lot of remodels and build outs are using 90-inch or 7.5 foot doors.
Okay.
So I have a lot of that in my inventory. You'll see a number of sets of pocket doors here that people are using for barn doors.
Yeah.
You know, exposed sliding barn doors.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Can you showcase some of your favorites or some of your most popular?
I mean, pocket doors, anytime you have doors like this with a 6 panel.
Right.
Okay, I have different sizes. These are 36 by 90 in oak. Behind you is a 6 panel quarter sawn oak. Those were extremely expensive doors in their day.
Okay.
Behind you coming down through here, actually something I bought in the last few months, are 4 sets of doors come out of the same house in western Ohio. This is a set of bifolds that are 8 foot tall in pine. Right next to it is a really rare set of bevel glass pocket doors that are 8 foot tall.
These are beautiful.
They have bronze hardware on them. The doors are all in pine.
And this is all original.
That's all original.
Nice.
And then these 2 sets of doors next to them were in the same house. One's a 36-inch set and one's a 32-inch set of pocket doors.
Did these come from up north?
These all came out of a little town called Fostoria, Ohio, in northwestern Ohio.
Okay. Is that anywhere near Chagrin Falls?
That's Chagrin Falls, the south of Cleveland. This is on the western side of Ohio, south of Toledo.
Okay. I lived in Chagrin Falls for 3 years,
Yeah.
but I was very young. I don't remember, but it was beautiful.
Toledo.
It was picturesque up there.
But yeah, it's kind of unique to get into a house and actually get them out. Most of my doors are being bought. They were taken out years ago. So they would have been down and stored because either the house got torn down or a contractor was tearing things out or whatever. I also deal a lot with demolition companies. I don't actually go in and do the tear outs. Okay. So everything I have is appropriately sourced. The demolition guys,
they in great shape.
Yeah, I go through when I get the doors. They don't look like you see them here. Every door gets scrubbed with a bleach cleaner with steel wool, and then if it's in varnish, it gets wiped down with an orange oil.
Well, take me through. There's some unique. Also, I love these. I love the wood and the patina on these. But some of these, see now, I have a soft spot for this. With this
a lot
patina.
of chippy paint doors. That style of door you're looking at here. Those typically are used to replace and used for laundry rooms and pantry rooms.
I know, they're just wonderful.
Doors.
That's a great idea.
Original glass. You can either use the glass or they can go back and etch it. They can do etched lettering, you know, so pantry or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with it, or change the glass out to something that you can't see through, like a privacy glass.
Nice.
But I have a lot of that style of door in my inventory.
I like
This is kind of the pattern of door you see on Pinterest with the block pattern. That was the one that was the focal point on Pinterest for a number of years. I've got a number of those in the inventory as well.
Nice.
This is a real unusual set of doors.
Tell me about where did
those are American pine. They've been stripped and refinished. I bought them out of, I actually bought them at an antique mall in Northeast Ohio. The doors, it's the only time I've ever seen a set on the ground where this wasn't all broke out. They did a repair on these, but it's got all the hardware with it except for the strike plate here. They're made like a European set of doors in that the inside of it opens up, and that's where the glass would be. So you have, you could open it up if this was going between two rooms, you can open up and let air pass through it, or you can close it up and seal it.
Nice. Okay. I mean, in a lot of the like outdoor living spaces and such, this would be a great.
These will probably end up going in a house, going from one room into like an office something like that. That's the type of it, or even into a wine cellar.
Oh,
that would be another
great idea.
Item that you would use.
Great idea. Great idea.
A lot of different styles of doors here. You'll see doors with mirrors in here.
I love the arch.
Those were originally sourced out of a hotel in Charlotte, North Carolina years ago. All bevel glass. They're mahogany. From what I've been told, the wood in them was actually rainforest mahogany that you can't even buy anymore.
Wow.
The new mahogany now is a farm-raised mahogany.
Do people take some of the solid and use them for other, like repurpose them for tabletops?
Typically where yes and no. More with these, particularly the tall stuff, they're going to be used on a track system. They're going to hang them and use them as a track. Okay. Some of the 5-panel stuff, some of the 2-panel stuff, they'll put down and do make tables out of. That trend's kind of gone away.
Okay.
You're still getting more usage, as actual doors.
Yeah, and using them as decorative interior doors.
Right,
This set of windows is really
I took those out of a house in Ashtabula, Ohio, right up on Lake Erie.
Those are cool.
These are a really exceptional set of bevel glass doors.
Gorgeous.
Came not far from Chagrin Falls originally. Come out of Amherst, Ohio, near Cleveland.
Look at this. This is
got the original hardware.
Wonderful.
All bevel glass. Originally had a transom with them. The guy and his wife that bought them a number of years ago from the doctor whose house they come out of kept the transom. Resold the doors.
They're beautiful.
But they're about as good a bevel glass doors as you're ever going to see.
Wow. Very unique.
This is another group of doors. You're talking about the 32-inch half glass. These are some really unique doors I've got. These with carving in it. This one's got an etched glass.
Yeah, and I love
that one's actually, believe it or not, somebody's rendition of the Illinois State House that was bought about 10 miles north of Springfield, Illinois by a friend of mine out of an estate. Only time I've ever seen that particular etch probably was done by Morgan Door Company out of Chicago. But this type of an etching on glass you see more in like Illinois, Wisconsin, and Iowa than you do in the Midwest or the South.
Right.
So that's kind of a unique item in and of itself.
Look at this. This is interesting.
Yeah, that was probably a cabinet door, Victorian, Eastlake cabinet door for a built-in cabinet of some sort.
These caught my eye.
This is kind of what I call my power alley down through here.
I know.
That set of doors.
Look at this with the letter.
Yeah, that set of doors came out of New York. Was
gorgeous.
Went through an auction about a month and a half, 2 months ago. A friend of mine bought them, sent me pictures, and I ended up getting them from him. They probably, he said they were stored prior to going to auction. My guess is they've been stored for close to 50 years or so.
Are these inlays, or is this?
These doors are interesting. They're actually 2 layers thick of pine. The doors themselves are about 2.5 inches thick. Then they took and they did what's called a faux paint or grain paint on the top to make it look like walnut, and then they stained that. And they did two different types. You've got like a straight grain walnut here and a burl walnut in here. So it gives it that look of like being walnut, but it's actually pine doors.
They are really pretty.
Not a set of doors. You know, that's a once in a decade,
that's not something you're
type
see.
item that you're going to buy. You don't see those too much.
No. And these are unique.
These two sets of doors here
they
came
almost
out
look
of Michigan.
European.
They're American.
They're American. Okay.
They are American.
Okay.
Came out of Muskegon, Michigan. They were taken off the house in the 1950s. The house was built in 1878. As I've been told, the house underwent an extensive renovation in the 1950s. These were taken down. All the trim was taken out of the house. It was put on the third floor and stayed there until the winter of 2015 into 16. A lady that I know lives about 2 blocks from there bought these and a lot of stuff out of that house, took it to a show in Round Top, Texas, sold them to a dealer from Iowa who I also know. He resold them to a friend of mine in Ohio who's a stained glass window guy, and was holding on to these with the intention of putting stained glass panels in them and reselling them.
Okay.
Finally, 2 months ago, he decided he wasn't going to get around to that and he was willing to sell them to me.
Nice.
The house they come out of was built in 1878. My understanding is if you go online, you can actually pull that house up because it's now called a funeral home.
Oh,
so they have a website. You can actually see the house.
You can see where they originated.
See where they originated.
I like ladies' room.
The ladies' door is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is a cool piece.
Came out of Ohio. Actually bought that from a Habitat restore.
Nice.
Probably was a club or a restaurant.
Yeah.
It's solid walnut, 8 foot tall with the jamb. Originally had a mirror on the back. The mirror's not there, so you could put a mirror in the back.
Would that be a neat? That'd be
There's
a unique piece to have in your
a lot of
your
things
house.
you can do with that.
Yeah,
door.
a lot
it's
of
really
things.
That's really
cool
unique
piece.
item.
That's a cool piece.
One of the cooler doors I own is this one. It's got the original bronze knocker on it.
That caught my eye when I was walking through here.
Be a good door for a cabin or again a wine cellar.
Yes.
Heavy oak door. Came out of an inventory deal in Ohio. I did not get in it, but somebody else did. I bought it from them. But it's a nice, basically 3 foot by 7 foot door for a couple of different uses.
That's pretty. This is good. I like this.
Those doors came out of New York, I believe. They're actually were church doors, but they're extremely heavy. And the way they're made, they work real well with cabins or again another going into a wine cellar. Yeah, because they've got the right look for that.
They do. Gosh.
These pocket doors right here I just got. They came out of a salvage place in Ohio. I do have the rollers for both sets of those. I haven't put them back.
I will say everything's in stunning condition. It's in great condition. You do take them and get them, restore them to, but you don't take it too far.
All I do is clean it down. And a lot of what I do gets the dirt, the grime, the dust, the grease off, gets the extra screws, the extra nails, the curtain rod hardware, all of that.
But I like that you don't compromise the integrity.
I let it alone. You know, some people are going to take a door like this and they're going to paint them. That's fine. But you know what I'm trying to do is get them clean and straightened out. I put blocks on the bottom so that they don't get scuffed up when they're moved, and then you can do whatever you want once you buy the door.
Guys, y'all got to get out here. I mean, this is fantastic. There's more, even beyond us. Keith, thank you so much. Come down and see Keith. There is something you're going to find, whether it's a door, a window, there's architectural pieces, too much to even show you at one time. So come down. Enjoy this gorgeous and glorious afternoon, and I hope to see you soon.